sanitary convenience. The senior citizen lights a small portable kerosene lamp as he explains how he navigates the darkness.
That is my light.
Oh, so this is what
everyone take off, if me want get up and people I'm going to miss. Come out, light young, come out, come people.
Back inside his mobile house, the car seat that doubles as a bed, a 2-burner stove, toiletries, and food items stored in a bag away from unwelcome house guests. Mr. Daly explains that with no contact with a daughter overseas and a granddaughter in Kingston, he survives off the food packages he gets from the nearby church, soldiers now stationed in the parish, and persons who pass by with relief supplies.
I have a phone, but I can't get no charge. If you ever go get charged, yeah, because we have $1,000 I have.
As the thunder rolled and dark clouds set in, a reminder of the senior citizens' immediate needs.
No, me have to just go look one shelter. Take up something and make one shelter and let yes. But it have because it tap a leak.
And when that happens,
me jalo it's a polymer. Say well alright. That's me no more answer.
Miles away in Buck near Froome, Westmoreland, Tanisha Daly fixes tarpaulin in the pouring rain. She's not a happy camper as she explains how she narrowly escaped death during the passage of Hurricane Melissa.
When me knock out and I find myself underneath the rubble, which is a refrigerator, me start by calling the kid's name. One when me call, when he answer, me saw blood to one side and face. Then my sister find the next two. We come together, hold each other hand, went outside. At the time when we went outside, the house already fell apart, so we would be totally open. So we come together, hold hands, went to the unfinished concrete house, hold on to the steel, and wait till we can mechanics move again.
She went to another neighbor's house, which also crumbled, sending her and her kids to another unfinished concrete structure before her final stop at a neighbor who lived in concrete housing. After the system passed, Miss Daly recovered what she could and ended up here.
Where I'm standing now, underneath the canvas, me and 3 kids shelter here, 3 boys.
Her sons are 4, 9, and 14 years old. She's appealing for shelter and proper bedding to help them back on their feet. In another part of Westmoreland, a TVJ News team journeyed with relief supplies to the community of Belmont. There, I met O'Brien Green, now living among the remnants of his house under a leafless tree. He lifts a sheet of zinc which covers a tarpaulin on top of the bed base where he sleeps at night.
Let me lay like this. Just for it and sleep. They like me to back and set them up. You can't cut me up. No food, no water, no light, not all.
How are you managing the heat? Like when it's like during the daytime and the sun is out, like right now, very hot. How you cold? What you do? You not stay right there?
No, much more up at the front there.
On the road.
On the road, him there. But I went fall, maybe the rain done. So I come back and I sleep.
He says he escaped his house just before it crashed to the ground with only the clothes on his back and not even a pair of shoes to spare. And because many of his neighbors also lost their homes in the same way.
But I'm one. It's in my way right now.
Krista Campbell, TVJ News.
Welcome back. We lost electricity. And not even did member say, me have machine. Not even did remember. When you're not used to something, yeah. When you're not used to that you have machine that can fix the loss of electricity. And at the time when you lose the electricity, you realize what we were talking about? Electricity. I don't know why this computer not coming back up. We lost electricity. That was one of the things that we were talking about and how we're going to get back the grid up and running. We had some interviews lined up, Some people we have line up to talk to. But, you know, me really rate some people who can sit down and watch you for a mistake. Watch you for 2 and 3 hours, hoping that you'll make a mistake or hoping that you will say something that they can use against you. So, the other morning, I was listening to one of my favorite morning show, Morning Agenda on Power 106. And I heard the host said something that I found wrong. And I spoke about it here. And the E-frame. Me say the man report me, the man tell the man say me I diss him. You know hear me diss nobody on my show? Listen. I'm not gonna hear the whole context of the thing. Me not diss nobody. The man said something which I think was out of order. And I commented on it here. But I tell him, say, God, look out for me and look after me, you know. The Almighty God, look out for me and look after me. That's not a fridge, man, a sissy. Listen this.
My little knowledge telling me that once you are Minister of Finance, it seems as if you are responsible for all Jamaica, not just your constituency.
No, not necessarily. The job of the Minister of Finance is really to set policy and carry out the workings of the financial, all the laws regarding the financial management of the country's affairs.
Well, that's the reason why I said that, because remember, she had to distribute the money from her portfolio to other ministers.
John, let me give you a secret. A lot of the work of the finance minister is not carried out by the finance minister. It's carried out by the technocrats in the Ministry of Finance and Planning. The finance minister is really just a face of all of that. All right?
All right.
All right. Thank you, John.
You're most definitely welcome, sir.
All right. This one says,
So,
hi, Kemoy.
So that's what I was talking about. The finance minister is just a face. No. I mean, when Ralston said yes to it, Ralston mean in a bad way. What he was trying to say is that don't blame the finance minister, not she. So, I called him yesterday. Called him yesterday morning. Listen this.
Says Kemoy, good morning. Trust you're well. Is sickening to listen to Metro. He's so blinded by political bias that it does not matter what is done and being done. I think that should be. It seems no one wants to acknowledge the devastation and the logistical nightmare the government
you're
have
going
to deal with. You're
going to hear the report from the CC.
This one says Kemoy Michael from up the hills of Blue Mountain is one of the most reasonable callers. Big up to you, Michael. This one says, Sir P, do you really understand the magnitude of this devastation? Your comments is very disingenuous. And this one says, thanks, Steve. You're very understanding of the crisis, and I share all that you have said. Then this one says, good morning. Why the Obia people never run away, Melissa? Why they don't stop crime? Why they don't run crosses out of Jamaica? Why is it that they solve theirs there and also our problems? We need to cut out foolish politicking. People have a right to speak, and that's from Anne. All right, and then this one says Colin was dissing you on his live last week because you told a caller that the Minister of Finance does not need to see all the areas herself. That's why he texted, and we're going to go to the phone lines now for him to defend himself. Good morning, Colin.
Kemoy.
Yes.
Morning. Do you remember saying on your program that the Minister of Finance is just a face?
I said something similar to that. Not just, and I didn't just say that.
No, that wasn't the only thing you said.
Yes.
The same message that you just read last.
Yes.
It was along the line of conversation. And basically you were saying to the person, listen, it's the technocrats that do the work. The Minister of Finance is just a face. You remember saying that?
Yes, I ended the conversation by saying that, yes.
That is wrong.
Okay.
And that's why I sent you the message this morning.
Yes.
So the text is right. I was not dissing you. I was saying that as a counselor, as an attorney at law, you understand the constitution of this country more than most.
Mm-hmm.
And you also know that there are two positions in the executive
Mm-hmm.
that you must be elected to sit in those two positions.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes.
One is the Prime Minister,
Mm-hmm.
and one is the Minister of Finance.
Yes.
It is policies that run the country.
Yes.
These people are the policy makers.
Mm-hmm.
So even though you are the technocrats that does the physical work, they do it on the guidance of the policies that is set by the government. Am I right?
Yes.
And therefore, to even mention on radio, because one fool take it and run with it, brother. So we in the space have to be careful of what we say. I mean, understand what you're trying to say,
Mm-hmm.
But there's a saying in Jamaica that says one fool make many, but me not call you a fool.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know you understand, understand where that try to go. But when you say that in the public space and you have some idiot who wants to run with something like that, because it's upon a man TikTok page,
Okay.
and I laugh off of people, and I'm saying, but the Minister of Finance is not just a face. She is the policy authority on how Jamaica's economy is run.
She solely?
Huh?
She solely?
Not solely.
Mm-hmm.
Not solely.
Mm-hmm.
But in fact, she may be solely outside of the Prime Minister who employs her.
Yes. Tell me one finance minister that you have seen that has been has led any major policies on economic affairs. That who would you use as an example?
Dr. Peter Phillips.
Okay, I'm not surprised. Thank you so much, Colin.
No, hold on. Come on.
Go ahead.
Have you gone down to the west?
No, I haven't been.
I think you need to go, because you see the fact that you're sitting in this space, my brother.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have a first-hand view of it for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I was in and out with the minister.
Mm-hmm.
I would love for you to find out how many water stations have the government set up down in the west for people to get portable drinking water, away from just handing out a few bottles of water. Because as the minister basically said, that the amount that we have given out is this, but private people, civil society has given out a lot. What the government has given out is not adequate. What we have gone down there and assist with is not adequate. And there's more to be done. One of the other things we need to find out is how many people have the government moved out of these shelters, because these people were in the shelter before the hurricane. And the situations in these shelters are dire.
Yes. All right,
and
Colin.
we would expect some level of evacuation, moving out some people. The Bracco Village is a hotel owned by the government, Kemoy. The Trelawney Multipurpose Stadium have over maybe 45 bathrooms in there. These are places that some people will have to be taken out of the space and put into these places. Not everybody wants to evacuate, but those who want to should be given the option. And these are the things that we are quarreling with the government about. We're not saying the government not do nothing. Anybody say the government not do nothing is crazy.
All right, Colin. Thank you so much. Let me go now to Portmore. Morning, Portmore.
Good morning.
So, you heard the conversation. Wagwan, how you stay? You good? MP? I just heard the MP a while ago. MP? Trying to get to finish up the assignments that we had for this morning. Due to the power outage, we lost some time, But we're trying to see if we can get some of the people that we had lined up, because next week is going to be a heavy week. And we're flying solo this morning. So there are some things that happened this week. And we play one already from morning with the Prime Minister admitting that if Jamaica's infrastructure was better, the kind of damage that we get from the hurricane would be less. And I hope they all understand where we're coming from. Because we were saying that when you build out the infrastructure and you have solid infrastructure, that is what will protect the people. That is what will protect the people. That is why in Chile, less than 800 people died from a 8.7 magnitude earthquake. And over 300,000 died from a 7 in Haiti. I tell you now, we have to understand how things work, and we have to understand when people talk, where they mean, where it come from.
We have discussed this clip here.
Regional experience from the not too distant past is illustrative. Consider the contrast between two earthquakes that occurred in 2010. In Haiti, on January 12th, a magnitude 7 hurricane earthquake occurred. And in Chile, on February 27th, a magnitude 8.8 earthquake occurred. The earthquake in Chile was more powerful, yet it resulted in fewer than 800 deaths. Whereas in Haiti, the earthquake caused over 300,000 fatalities and the near collapse of their infrastructure. What is the difference? What does it reveal? It is not simply geography or tectonic power. It is the presence or absence of resilient infrastructure, building standards, institutional preparedness, and resource capacity. That is the lesson for Jamaica. Every repaired bridge, re-roofed home, and rebuilt road must be designed for the storms of tomorrow, not the storms of yesterday.
Yeah, man.
When discuss this clip, among other things, on the Colin Bell Show, this Saturday morning, live on Portland Spice TV.
If you're hearing these words, it's not a...
Yeah, man. So that was the Prime Minister, people, telling you about the importance of good infrastructure that they have neglected over the last 10 years. The Prime Minister had promised, 10,000 social houses. He has built, what them said, 300? 300. Hold on for me. Let me take the call. Yes, sir. How you doing?
Morning, Mr. Bell. Yeah, man. John Curtis. Hey, may I say? May I talk about the donation thing? May I tell you something that try to get up some stuff?
Yeah, but you don't get back
yeah,
to me.
But yeah, maybe get back to you because you know what? They might try assist me, but the whole entire department and the department big, you see me? But they might try do it through. I try to send it through a registered charity group.
Yeah.
And them I try to send it through the government of Jamaica. I tell them straight, say, yo, if it go through the government of Jamaica, you know, make no sense to do it. So I see if you have or know of any other charity group where you link with, or we can offer up. You understand? Because I tell you straight, if it not go through to the government, I not go bother it. I tell you straight.
All right. Tell you what, John. Let me work on it and then we talk. All right.
Please, me having it, yeah.
Yeah, man. Cool. We have MP Isaac Buchanan on the line. MP, morning.
Morning to your viewers and your listeners.
Well, I was supposed to call you earlier, but JPS decided to take with the current. And then, you know, when you're not used to something, me not even remember say one generator downstairs. Yeah. So, I saw the thing take away to write here, so. But,
yeah.
Whole heap of things to talk about, but let me start with what I really wanted to talk to you about first. Port Antonio, the town.
Yeah.
You are here on the ground, and I hear you say the right thing. The people were asked for you to live at East Portland, and maybe not even come from East Portland. You have been on the ground. You have seen the state of Port Antonio. What will be done to clean up Port Antonio? The town is dirty. It is stink. I mean, it's overrun with dogs and rodents, and we have a whole heap of homeless people, but a house was built for them. Talk to the people. What will be done and what we are doing?
Well, certainly I'm gonna say this. I'm being very frank with you. Melissa has really I'm hearing feedback, Colin.
Hold on, let me see if we can turn it on. Go ahead.
Yeah, Melissa has really set back a lot of things for the entire country. One of the things I would say, especially about Port Antonio, I will use the word. It's really in a bad state right now. From before I even became the member of parliament, and one of the things is the big thing right now is garbage collection and how we're going to be able to keep the space clean.
Yes.
The good thing is I have met with parish council. I understand the inner workings now, and I will be seeking the assistance to basically cooperate in ensuring that a lot of the space, in terms of making the space clean, especially coming up to the Yuletide season, we're just going to deal with that directly as it comes. But in terms of the homeless and in terms of the animals and all of that, that is a joint effort that really is supposed to come from central government. I hear you talk about the home that was built for the homeless. It's not being put to use. I've asked about it. I've asked the minister about it, and the answer is not forthcoming. So we're going to look about that in the immediate future.
You mean you check the local government minister, you're not getting an answer? Have you spoken with the mayor?
No. No, I have not spoken to the mayor about that particular thing. But to be honest with you, you see, because my pet peeve is the Blue Lagoon situation right now. I'm trying to resolve that before year end in terms of a particular access, but I won't speak too much about that as it is in advanced stages.
Right. So as it relates to the hurricane recovery, give us an update of what you have been doing.
All right, so a lot of the stuff that I have been doing, I have been getting private assistance, as in getting funding from the diaspora. The government has been trickling funds here and there, but to be honest with you, how it reaches the people is most unfortunate. They have put out their findings, and they said it's about 2-point-something million US in damage for non-residential, and about 13 million for or less than that for residential. The reality of it
in
is
your constituency?
In our constituency, it's very low, very low. But at the same, it's very low compared to the other places. But they're saying that the narrative is we don't have damage, but you of all person can speak to how fellowship is in and of itself, one division.
Yes.
The extent of the damage in that division. The government should be embarrassed to even say that they're only providing $3 million.
Yeah,
that goes to about 50 persons at $50,000.
But how can they say the damage is 13 million and only giving you 3 million?
You mean 13 million US and only giving me 3 million Jamaican? Let's not mix that up.
Oh, so the damage is 13 million. It's 13 million US in Portland.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Oh, 13 million US.
Yes, man. Yes, man. So when one looks at that, I just want people to understand the reality that when somebody says they want to fix, and I'm gonna say this, Colin, I am very anti-trailer container home. But not for Portland.
Hold on, Isaac.
I'm just making that clear.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
13 million US listeners and viewers is 2 billion Jamaican dollars.
That is so.
And they are giving the member of parliament 3 million Jamaican dollars.
But I wanna say something to why, because I know that your show is well watched in Portland.
Yes.
The farming community was hurt really bad. I'm going to just speak of the crop, banana and planting, 600 hectares of banana and planting.
Gone down.
That's the whole entire production gone across Portland.
Blew down.
And they say, and what they have done is provide 2 million Jamaican dollars. And that is for allocations for poultry farmers.
2 million.
For 2 million. And so I'm going to say it here now. The chicken program, I'll be distributing the chicken and all of that. But just appreciate that it doesn't answer the fishing wire needed. It doesn't answer for all the fish pots that's been damaged. It doesn't answer the situation about the 600 hectares of banana and planting. So the government response is so lacking that I have to be raising funds. I have to laugh about it because here it is, just for food alone, where they gave 1.5 for care packages. That's 300 care packages. And when the second allocation comes in, it will be a total of 600 packages that I am able to give out. And the embarrassing part of it is the government requires that when I issue the packages from what the government give me, I must take TRN and ID.
So when this man out there said them asking for TRN and ID and some people say it's not true, you are saying that it is protocol that once you give out these government packages.
It is protocol. It is dehumanizing. It reduced me. It reduced me as a member of parliament to a villain because I people in Portland who come to the office, and yes, the office is OPEN, open. I just want to say this. Persons who come there, whether they went to the clinic, Shaka, they will laugh off of me without play. But anyway, when they come to the clinic, when they go to the clinic and they stop by after they get the medication and stuff, they stop by for food. And you say, but you have to have your ID and your TRN. What do you say to a man whose legs are bandaged up and them sick?
Yeah.
And them don't have those, they don't have that with them. Am I to turn them away?
No, not at all.
Protocol. I have to break protocol and say take the food. And if that is the case, which is one of the reasons why I always say respect to the diaspora, I have managed to raise over $2 million.
Beautiful.
Helping right from the GoFundMe. And I'm using that to continue to provide the food for the people, assist with building material. And I've said to you, our project there, Shaka,
yes,
up in Millbank.
Yes.
That lady must get a concrete house, in a trailer house.
As soon as she get her paper, say she get permission to use the land.
Yes.
Yes.
I am just awaiting. Yes.
So
and that project is well in advance in terms of locating the funding, locating the project. I'm just waiting on her to get the permission because it has been approved from my end, and she will get the first concrete house.
Definitely, we now put her on the board house, and we're gonna deck the roof yard too, though.
No, yes, that's what I say. Concrete, full concrete.
Deck the roof.
No hurricane now blow off. No roof.
That is it.
And I just think that we have the opportunity to set that example. And I'm just being honest. If we didn't have the money, I tell you, say everybody would have upgrade. And Ralph Gonzalez did that in Beryl, and I just don't understand what is it that our government is waiting on to take the approach where at a minimum you put people in solid homes, even if the inside of the house not paint up yet. But you take them out so the forces of nature can harm them.
Now, MP, talk to us about the road situation in the constituency. We know a lot of farm roads get damaged. Talk to us about those and how soon people can have back comfortable access to their farms.
Well, all right. I'm glad you said that because that's what I do. I'm an advocate. I spoke to the Minister of Agriculture. That's the Honorable Floyd Green. He is in contact and having conversations with the necessary agency to make that assessment and try to get access to some of these roads. Just the roads generally, though, I must say to you that the Spark program continues. There are 2 roads that are going to be done in the near future, as in starting December, notwithstanding Melissa. It's far advanced where that is concerned. And even this, I think it is this week, I get so much calls and I get in cursing because there was a lot of holes that came up in the road because of the heavy rains, and had to get some shingle and some marl, and it spread, and people were complaining that may I mess up the place. So yeah, if you do right, is a problem. If you don't do it, is a problem. But I'm doing my best. Well, again, if the government won't do it, I'm gonna do my best to get it done in the best way possible. And that is just the reality. I'm starting to realize that it really looked like Portland Eastern is not a part of the Jamaican map. And so we have to take care of ourselves, and that's really what I'm focused on doing.
What about water delivered to some of the areas who don't have no water? Are we working on that?
I'm glad you said that. I have a water allocation. The water truck is there. It's a scheduling issue, as well as trying to. There's a place in where you had directed me in Port Antonio division. I want to say Snow Hill, but
no, it's not Snow Hill.
Shatover. Where Shatover. Yeah. To check where the water level is with that, to send another
load up there,
another delivery, another load of water, as well as trying to from rural hill to some spaces, whether or not it's water commission or parish council, just to give an ease and make sure that people get water. So I'm looking where the complaints from the offices and trying to disseminate as the time in as early as this week.
You did mention the garbage collection. What reports do you have on that?
Like I said, local government really just dropped their hand, since Melissa. But you recall that I had a little conversation in Parliament about that in relation to the health hazards that come. Lo and behold, you're seeing what's happening with the leptospirosis and dengue and everything that's rising up. They did come. I recall they did respond, and trucks as far as St. Andrew and St. Anne had come into Portland and was taking up garbage. That we're back to square one again, because the reality is they're not a garbage truck. They have some, I don't even want to say miscommunication, but once again, local government ministry and the minister, I don't know what's happening there.
Have you touched base with the local people down here who deal with the garbage? Because I have a suggestion,
yeah,
MP.
Man, I'm sure you have as well. And one thing they will tell you is they're working on a truck or whatever. It is always a payment problem. Private contractors not being compensated. Whatever the situation is, the scheduling is not consistent, and it's a national problem. But notwithstanding, it needs to be resolved.
But MP, I don't know if you have any discussion with the parish council and those people, because I believe there's a small garbage truck plus the ones that are from the government around the place. Can they just assign the small one to the town of Port Antonio and him constantly go around the town and keep the town clean? Can something like that happen?
I that's something that can be looked at. I can't say it. I cannot say to you right now while I'm talking to you that it can happen, but that is a solution that is practical in terms of keeping the town clean, and I will raise it.
Yeah, so if you have to do the town 2 times a day, it's about keeping the town clean, because I hear the Minister of Health saying that the parishes that they find leptospirosis, they are going to be a cleaning up in those parishes. I think there should be cleaning up in all the parishes to ensure that it's not going to further than it. The prevention, not just cure. So, as it will...
I will say, when I saw that happen, I'm going to just a lot of the conversations about the leptospirosis also is people not understanding about the water, potable water.
Yes.
And what are the alternatives? I just got a donation from Pure Water, so that I can distribute drinking water to those who are serious, you know, the infirm and the baby mothers and stuff like that. So we
Yes.
just have to take care. We have to take care of ourselves. It's my duty as it is right now to take care of those who can't help themselves immediately. That's the elderly and the infirm and even the homeless, to make sure that we don't have an outbreak in Port Antonio. The health minister was warned about things like this, and we don't want to see cholera, and we don't want to see anything else escalating, because this is not looking good, especially when people are hungry and there's a food insecurity reality going on right now. We have to try to make sure that we get food in the hands of people, as well as clean, drinking, potable water.
You talk about the destruction of the farms in Portland, and a lot of people depend on farming. And when I go into the communities nowadays, I am seeing that people are looking more desperate. People don't have what to eat and what to spend, because a lot of things basically stopped since the hurricane. What is happening with the economy in Eastern Portland right now?
Boy, I'm gonna tell you, way before Melissa, the economy in Portland did dead. Right, you know, it's the valley of the shadow of death. From even though the light is back, because light is not everywhere in Portland, you understand the disconnect between how people navigate and do business. It is just, we have to do what we have to do to ensure that we get the small businesses up and running. The lady with our ice cream business has been out of service for more than 21 days.
And
right?
that's,
And we are the forgotten parish. So when I think about the small business owners, whether it be the chicken farmers, whether it be the persons with the small bakery, the buy and sell people, we have to ensure that there is a buffer where that is concerned, and that is what I'm working on. And believe me, you catch me on the internet. People might think out there giving trouble, but I'm raising funds for the benefit of the people of Portland. That is what I'm doing right now.
All right, so MP, we know you're on the road, so we're gonna make you do your thing. We know the office is open Mondays to Saturdays.
OPEN.
And it open Mondays to Saturdays. If you see the door locked,
Monday to Saturday.
If you see the door closed, air conditioning, they're running because people in there are working. Yeah, it's not a big office where we have one big area outside. That is that been worked on, MP, for a bigger space so people can see say something go on inside.
We working on it in discussions with parish council for proper relocation, so that everybody knows that the access is for everybody. Does not matter your party affiliation or whether you vote or not. It is a constituency office for everybody. So while there's no thought of expansion, but there is urgent relocation efforts taking place.
All right, my brother. We'll talk again. Blessings.
All right, blessings.
One love.
Big up.
MP for East Portland, Isaac Buchanan. When was the last time? For 6 years, we had an MP where we couldn't call and get no information from. For 6 years. Couldn't call and talk to. We don't have an MP again where we can call and talk to. Dr. Linville Bloomfield, we could have called him and talk to him. So was Dr. Rod. And people, don't know how many of you know now. I am celebrating 30 years in this media business here. 30 years. We started SATCOM, and it's over 30 years, because I was at Caribbean Satellite Network before we get full-time in our media. But 1995, September, we started at SATCOM. Yeah, man. A whole heap of people come through this, so. Whole heap. So, 30 years, over 30 years in this media business. So, we're not small fry in this. I have a whole heap of experience under our belt. We know this. So, I tell you, say this morning, a whole heap of things we did have line up, you know. But it look like them line up JPS to bamboozle the thing. 876-804-7072. We're taking your calls. We're going up until midday. Just trying to catch up back somehow what we did have planned. When we did talk about it, we did have Ralston full-fledged. We could see where OB there because we did have him line up as well. We'll see if we can find OB on the line. What a shame. The MP has to be out there begging to look after the people in the country. Where is the aid coming in? Yeah, because, you all said the damage at Portland at 13 million US, but you give the MP 3 million. What kind of rubbish? But they tell you a long time. Say maybe you could have given 50,000. But then when you look on a $2 billion worth of damage, I don't know how the government is planning to deal with this thing. And we're not hearing no plans from the government. But Omar have a tight schedule.
Across the country. Electricity is life, and I think the context applies across the country. Electricity is life and death. There are constituents who reach out to me losing hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands of dollars worth of medication, and they're in a situation where they're unable to replace it. And sometimes I don't get the same sensitivity. Now, last year, before I became a member of parliament, I was able to get better information from JPS after burial. Now, as member of parliament, I can hardly get any information. So I have a question. Is the ability of the ministry to push JPS hampered by the fact that a formal notice that their license will not be renewed has been provided? Is there any detection of that? And I wonder whether any light can be shed on that.
No pun intended. PS?
This way. The information we've been given is that they need to secure financing. And because we have pulled on the license, if you will, my choice of words.
Listen this.
They are unable to attract capital. And I mustn't say this publicly, should I? The time remaining on the license does not allow them enough time to secure capital so that they can repay within the time of the license. And there's no guarantee that there will be a renewed or new license unless JPS is willing to agree to new terms. And we cannot step back on that. Right? The country has been suffering high price of electricity and all the other things that we've been talking about for years. And we have agreement, approval from cabinet to push for these changes. So the issue is we are now seeking to see how we can assist and facilitate them securing capital.
Do you mean by that a sovereign guarantee?
Not sovereign guarantee, I cannot tell you that. But what is being done is that there's a request before us for an extension of the license that will give them wiggle room, is the word I want to use, so they can secure some financing.
So, just for clarification, you had said, PS1, I just want to get clarification, that there are changes to the terms of the license which the ministries or the government is pushing for.
Yes.
But in the circumstances, isn't it the company that now holds the handle in these negotiations?
That's what they feel. But that's not it, because if they are dependent on us to be able to secure financing, then we have the handle.
That's the lady.
I don't think we want to have a public negotiation.
Negotiation.
Uh-huh.
but we want to know what we're facing.
Yes, but I think we're kind of we're giving away our hand and our card and everything with some of the questions, I must admit. So I'm not sure if we want a public.
Mr. Crawford, I am certain P.S. Palmer can handle herself. You don't need to defend
All right,
her.
I withdraw then, Chairman.
I know her very well, and I feel certain she can walk between the raindrops. Mr. Phillips.
No, Mr. Phillips not in line yet. Mr. Phillips not in line.
So,
and Mr. Phillips.
we hear the issue now with JPS. How we're going to take care of this issue. This is a serious issue. And as I said, I heard a lot of people saying that the government can't backtrack. But if the government not backtrack, what we're going to do? What are we going to do? Because JPS have to come up, you know. Them have to get the money. They have to get the money to bring the grid up, get everybody back on the system. It can't go no other way. Everybody have to be back on the system. Everybody. So this is one of the problems that we have to deal with. There are others, and let me go back to something what the Prime Minister said, because the Prime Minister have a whole heap of issues. Whole heap of issues. The Prime Minister said in the Parliament the other day that he was answering a question from Dr. Kenneth Russell. He was answering a question from Dr. Kenneth Russell. And the question, the Prime Minister didn't. In fact, the Prime Minister said no to the question. And 2 weeks later, he's back agreeing with the question. I wonder if it's this. Let me see if this is it.
Government.
Yes.
Governance. Manager. Leader.
Listen to this.
Different. Works different. Our Prime Minister needs the assistance of all Jamaicans, all well-thinking Jamaicans, all visionary who have ideas and have a plan of action that can share with the government. And I'll show you why I tell us that the Prime Minister needs help. Listen to this in the Parliament, and 2 weeks later.
My questions are as follows. Given the reported preparation of the shelters and the need to ensure that shelters are a place of protection for those who do not have another place in an emergency, in a storm, in a hurricane like the one we experienced, will the Prime Minister give consideration to the building of purpose-built facilities to be used as shelters in order that the situation which we now see in places such as Blackstone, where the children slept on the floor, where the women slept on the desks, where one woman said she had a mild stroke in one of our shelters. Will the Prime Minister make special consideration for the building of purpose-built facilities to be used as shelters and ensure that they're properly equipped so that our people do not see shelters as a place that demeans them, but as a place that protects them?
And the question was asked whether or not we should build. I believe the member from Southeast Centre asked whether or not we should build purpose-built centers. And I'd answer you this way, member, no, we should not build purpose-built exclusive centers. We should build facilities
You hear that?
that can withstand disasters, that can double as shelter when needed. That's the answer.
Here now 2 weeks
More
later.
work needs to be done on the selection of shelters. And indeed, we may very well have to consider building shelters that are for that purpose.
No problem.
Or when we are building community facilities, to build them up to the standards that a shelter would require.
When discuss this clip, among other things, on the Colin Bell Show, this Saturday morning, live on Portland Spice TV.
So you hear the Prime Minister. You hear the man say? No, we might think we have to go build purpose-built shelter. But when Dr. Kenneth Russell said to him, it was no. Obi. Yeah, Obi, what on?
Hey, what's up, Colin Bell? You good?
Me there, man. We're good. I mean, GPS take with the light from with you a little while. And then Obi, me never remember say me have a generator outside. Why?
Boy, I tell you something, boy. Generator business went up. They bought one. I think the price to pay for it was a little over 300.
No, but Obi, I give you a joke. It was the Friday before the hurricane when I decided to buy a generator. I never have one before. I have little solar, this and that around the place. And when we met the link in a Port Antonio, no generator no left. I'm not afraid to tell us the generator when we get is one where it was put down for somebody. But because I'm in name, I say I have the generator, the man said, well, me have to sell you. I bought the generator for 150,000. I'm going to tell you something. The week after the storm, I see the same generator sell for 370,000.
Yeah, man, because as I said, my sister bought one. I don't have the specs on it, but it's she's in Mandeville.
Yeah.
She paid $300 and something thousand for it.
Rough, man. Rough. Obi, people are talking about who politicizing the recovery. I have gone out on a limb to say the only people who can politicize this recovery is the government. Because the only people who can facilitate unity is the government. The only people who can open the door and say, come in and be a part of this, it is the government. What say you?
All right. I'm going to say something to you. I have spoken to, well, first of all, I've heard the leader of the opposition.
Sorry about that. Sorry. Obi? Hold on, I need something. We lost Conrad. Well, let me try and get him back. It looked like me, there's something. My fault. My fault. Trying to do too many things at the same time. So it looked like me kick off Obi after the call. Look like I me kick you off of the call. Hold on. I did it. Yeah, Obi, sorry about that. Go ahead.
Man, I was saying that I heard the leader of opposition from day one saying, here I am. And, I have been even a little bit critical of the leader because I believe that the leader of the opposition, Mark Golden, is probably a little bit too tame in terms of, really, I would love like to see a little bit more stridency. But then again, that's me, Conrad O'Brien, the fireman. Mark has a different way of doing things.
Yes.
And, and I certainly respect the approach that he has taken. However, I believe that I should be hearing my opposition leader and by extension, other members of the opposition standing up in the parliament and demanding, literally demanding, for the government to remove the persons who are vulnerable in those spaces that we say disease breaking out right now and all sorts of things taking place. I believe I would love to see that level of stridency. However, the reason why I made that point is to say that, you see an opposition leader literally, on bended knees, say, here I am. Has he been facilitated? I've also spoken to Paul Buchanan, who has the Prime Minister and the Prime Minister as a court matter going now for the seat in West Central St. Andrew. And my final question to Paul when I interviewed him, I said, with his expertise, because Paul's a developer, Paul is a land economist, I think he is by training, and indeed he knows the whole rudiments of development. I also spoke to other members of the opposition, and I asked them, are you prepared to play a role if you're asked? I asked Ralston Hyman that with his expertise, the role that he played with EPAC and so on and so forth, if he's called, will he answer the call for Jamaica? He said yes. So every person that I've spoken to in the opposition said that they are willing and able. So I really don't know, Colin, who is politicizing. On the other hand, I saw, and I named 3 ministers of government, for example. Well, 1 speaker and 2 ministers of government. I saw Juliet Holness went down to St. Elizabeth in the Little Jet constituency without even have the courtesy of saying to the member of parliament, I am in your constituency, which is supposed to be the done thing. What can lead to another, right?
Yes.
Say that. I have also seen just opposite number in terms of position. The Minister of Justice,
yes,
he went in there next to her office and didn't say a thing, right? Also, the Minister of Local Government did the same thing. So when you talk about politicizing, Colin, if those things that I have just outlined, I would ask your listeners to be the judge and the jury on
yes,
that and tell me who seems to be politicizing these things. I tell you something, Colin, and persons can say whatever they wish to when I say this. There's one person that I saw, those who out there doing work, and he basically understands his mandate, and it is Ardley Garden. He recognized that, listen, he has the Solid Waste Management Authority, and he's out there doing a whole lot of things, cleaning garbage, trying to clean garbage as best as possible, whether it's a labor right garbage, PNP garbage, or no P at all. And I believe that, the government could take some letter from Ardley Garden at the Solid Waste Management Authority.
Somebody is saying that Mark Golden keep making a statement, if I am allowed to. That is weakness because he has an office, is leader of opposition, and he should fulfill his duty. Oh, you see that statement?
Sorry, repeat that for me, Colin. I just pull up on the curve here.
The person is saying that Mark Golden keep making a statement. The statement is saying, if I am allowed to participate. That's what the opposition leader been saying. Somebody saying that is weak because he has an office, is leader of opposition, and he should fulfill his duty.
No. What that person is saying is kind of, well, I don't know where the person is coming from, but part of it, in my view, is kind of, I don't want to use the word nonsensical, but let me just say this. The opposition leader, in terms of participating in what the government is doing, cannot do so without he's called to the table.
Exactly. That's my point.
In light of the other things that he can do, which he said, and he said it in your program, that they have now begun to do some level of mobilization. They have actually established a hotline, website, whatever you want to call it, that people can make donations to and so on. That is within his purview. But in terms of the national reconstruction and add anything to the government, what the government is doing, he can't invite himself. It's like you having your wedding. It's like you having your wedding, Colin. I can't invite myself to your wedding, Papa.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what I've been saying, you know.
So that person who sent that, he or she needs to basically qualify what is that they're saying.
And this is the point, Obi. Only the government can do the action that will lead to the unity. The government have to open the door and say forward.
Yeah, man.
If the government don't let you in, you can't go in. So when you hear the government talking about unity, it is pure talk.
Reported preparation of the shelters.
Hold on there. There's a clip I want to play, Obi. I want you to listen to this and hear the Prime Minister backtracking in less than 2 weeks. Because some of the things that I have been finding when I listen to the Prime Minister now, I realize that the Prime Minister needs more help than ever. Listen to this question in the Parliament, then you're going to hear the Prime Minister answer, and then 2 weeks later, you're going to hear him come full circle. Listen to this.
Need to ensure that shelters are a place of protection for those who do not have another place in an emergency, in a storm, in a hurricane like the one we experienced. Will the Prime Minister give consideration to the building of purpose-built facilities to be used as shelters in order that the situation which we now see in places such as Blackstone, where the children slept on the floor, where the women slept on the desks, where one woman said she had a mild stroke in one of our shelters. Will the Prime Minister make special consideration for the building of purpose-built facilities to be used as shelters and ensure that they're properly equipped so that our people do not see shelters as a place that demeans them, but as a place that protects them?
You're the Prime Minister now.
And the question was asked whether or not we should build, I believe the member from Southeast Centre asked whether or not we should build purpose-built centers. And I'd answer you this way, member, no, we should not build purpose-built exclusive centers. We should build facilities that can withstand disasters, that can double as shelter when needed. That's the answer. More work needs to be done on the selection of shelters. And indeed, we may very well have to consider building shelters that are for that purpose.
You hear that, Obi?
Yeah.
What say you?
Yeah. Let me tell you something, Colin. What happened? You see, this is bordering on what people would describe as being narcissistic or a narcissist. And the Prime Minister don't believe that, listen, somebody can posit an idea that he can immediately give credit to the idea, but round the corner, he will take your idea now and come and say, I'm the best baby father, or I'm the best father for
for ideas.
Remember, ideas, right? So that kind of thing, because I think what Dr. Russell raised there, if I pick up the voice correctly, that sounds like it was
definitely, Dr. Russell, yes.
Right? Dr. Russell basically was making eminent sense. As a matter of fact, Colin, I must say that the closest call that I hear coming out of the parliament that you and I have been talking about in terms of basically removing the people out of those cells and house them properly. This is the clearest call, and it came from Dr. Kenneth Russell.
Yes.
And in truth and in fact, this is something that we need to look for at in terms of purpose-built shelters. Going and remember now that Dr. Russell has great deal of experience as a man who would have been a part of team with the UN based on his occupation in his other life.
Yes.
So he wasn't just speaking from the seat of his pants or just talking glibly. He was actually positing ideas that he knows that can work. And, you know, the Prime Minister sort of poo-pooed what he was saying, which was really and truly somewhat embarrassing at the end of the day. But as you correctly said, it seems as if the Prime Minister seems to be coming full circle on that. Because, Colin, these shelters should be built out for that particular purpose in terms of if there's something happening outside of that, and those shelters now can be used to do that outside of hurricane season.
Yes,
but
yes.
those shelters should be there, and once a hurricane,
or a disaster for that matter, widen it to a disaster. Yes.
You clear those spaces and make those spaces fully available for persons who are in need of such facilities, Colin.
I have one more.
And remember now that some of us may believe that we are not in need of such facilities, Colin, but based on the magnitude of the disaster, we end up become victim and in need of it, because that's some of what we are seeing on the ground in some of those locals that you would have visited, Colin. Lovely homes. What happened to them now?
Tear up. Hear this one, Obi. One more for you. One more for you. Hold on. Hold on. Let's.
We just do a voiceover.
Hold on there. Hold on. We don't need it from so far. Let me get to the, because I want you to hear the Prime Minister on this one, yeah. I want you to hear the Prime Minister on this one, yeah, Obi. Because the Prime Minister, this one, yeah, means I find the Prime Minister guilty. Guilty of not spending on the country's infrastructure and causing more damage than necessary in the hurricane.
How many lives would have been lost?
Hold on. I want to take you right down to the Prime Minister.
What happened? I said there's a message in this. But I'm saying the message in this, we'll discuss it on the Colin Bell show this Saturday morning from 9 o'clock. Among other things, we'll discuss this clip here.
You're the Prime Minister now.
Regional experience from the not too distant past is illustrative. Consider the contrast between two earthquakes that occurred in 2010. In Haiti, on January 12th, a magnitude 7 hurricane earthquake occurred. And in Chile, on February 27th, a magnitude 8.8 earthquake occurred. The earthquake in Chile was more powerful, yet it resulted in fewer than 800 deaths. Whereas in Haiti, the earthquake caused over 300,000 fatalities and the near collapse of their infrastructure. What is the difference? What does it reveal? It is not simply geography or tectonic power. It is the presence or absence of resilient infrastructure, building standards, institutional preparedness, and resource capacity. That is the lesson for Jamaica.
Obi.
Yes, Colin.
The Prime Minister had promised to build what? 10,000 houses for social people?
Social housing. Yeah.
Social housing, 10,000. He has built less than 1,000 since 2016.
Much less than 1,000. Much less.
What did you get from that speech in the parliament when he said that a 7 on the Richter scale earthquake destroyed Haiti? Over 300,000 people died. And a 8.7 in Chile, less than 800 people died. The government has been overpaying on the debt since 2016. They have spent over $100 billion by overpaying on the debt. what could that have done to Jamaica's infrastructure and your whole understanding of this argument where Andrew just said?
Well, certainly what the Prime Minister is doing, wittingly or unwittingly, is saying that, listen, the reason why Chile was able to withstand it was as a result of their investment in their infrastructure. They had much stronger infrastructure than our brothers and sisters here. And the sad thing about that is that the Prime Minister did not learn anything from that, because some of us, Colin, we're in occupational professional that it's about job owning. We talk, right?
Yes.
We talk. So you and I, we can only put forward ideas and say throw them out and expect that the person who is vested with the power, such as the Prime Minister, would examine those and take it up. So when we were talking about, listen, go easier than the payment or paying down on the debt, the Prime Minister would have none of it. And they continue for 10 years or for whatever amount of years to go aggressively, much more aggressive, and the paying of the debt, to the point where they overpaid by about $10 billion.
No, man. Which 10? Hold on, Obi. Overpaid by
110 billion.
Oh.
I'm sorry. About 110 billion. Sorry.
Yeah.
So what the Prime Minister is actually confessing now, Colin, is that, listen, looking back in the mirror to say, boy, listen, had we basically spent on the infrastructure, then the damage, we understand that you would still have damage, you know.
Yes,
because
man.
When you get a Cat 5, you're still going to have damage.
You must have damage.
If we invested in the infrastructure, Colin, certainly we would have much less damage here. Even you talk about the whole business of housing, because if that 10,000 social housing was there, some of them would go into some of those constituencies.
Of course,
that would create greater resistance.
Yes.
You know? So suffice it to say, Colin, certainly if they weren't built at the standard of Edmund Rich.
No, I think you see the social house them were in bill. I think I deck them, you know. I think a concrete and cement and steel make them house the way in bill, you know. So if you did build 10,000 of them there, maybe 3,000 or 4,000 would have built on a west. So would have much less damage. But then I bet you that fly over a lot of GLP head. For me, that is a statement of admission of failing to invest in the country's infrastructure.
Absolute is Colin. You see, Colin, there's a thing that the devil is in the detail.
Yes.
Right? Or there's another much more simpler thing. Read between the lines.
Oh, yeah.
And when you do all of those things, you recognize exactly that, as I said before, whether wittingly or unwittingly, that is exactly what the Prime Minister is admitting to, that the Jamaican infrastructure over the last 10 years have seen little or no investment in it to withstand any form of disaster of a particular magnitude. And while we're saying that not everything could be done and we would still have damage. However, had we invested $110 billion that we overshot in paying the debt down, then certainly we'll be in a better place, Colin.
And then we took another $100 billion from the NHT.
There you go. And remember now that this $110 billion was not supposed to be taken from the housing trust based on the arrangement, because the first 4 years that $10 billion, $10.5 billion per year was taken out by the previous administration. It was supposed to stop when the JLP ramped it up and started and continued to take it.
Yes.
That money was supposed to go into the housing stock, Colin, and that is why I'm saying that the government of the day is duty bound to build proper housing now and put the people who are in need in those houses, because they have deprived the people over the last 10 years by continuing to take out the $10.5 billion per annum that should have gone into affordable housing units.
What are your views on the container houses?
Colin, I don't know that I know as much that I would want to know about the container housing. Certainly for me, whatever you're doing, paramount in all of this has to do with the whole business of health. And
hello?
Our housing, it can be debilitating to one's health. And I don't know if based on the cost that they are coming in at, if we couldn't really build out a 2-bedroom.
You hear the cost? You hear the cost they're coming in at?
No, I don't hear the cost.
I'd love to hear the cost. I hear $3 million branded about.
You know, Colin, I tell you something. I don't know, but it's things that need to be examined, right? Need to be examined as to how everything. I know we need the housing. We need housing for our people, and we need to get the houses done rapidly. But we can't make that in itself allow us to settle with substandard things and things that would be debilitating to the health of debilitating to the health of our people. So I would urge that due care be done. And this is how now you have more than one head coming together, Colin, and to examine all of it. We have people who are schooled in these things. For example, you have somebody like a Professor Archer up there at the University of Technology. I am sure that she would basically understand a lot of this. You have people like Deacon Peter Eskew, who is environmentalist, who they probably understand the lay of the land in terms of these things structurally and the material that will be used. You know, because Colin, remember now, you know, this is not a shop you're building out of container that people are just going into that shop in and out. This is a house that people are going to live in.
Yes.
It's where you're going to sleep. It's where you're going to absorb all the
heat
elements.
All the heat from the day.
You know? So it's a lot of things. So I don't know, Colin. As I said, I am not going to throw cold water on it.
Yeah.
But certainly, I believe that we need to understand more. I know it was ridiculed in the past, and Jamaican people were saying that, listen, boy, we don't want a container house.
I believe it's the OB. I believe that the money for build the container house, and as you said, we need to know the price where it come out at. Because if you build a 2-bedroom, 20 by 14, 20 by 12, 20 by 16, anything of that sort, if the government goes to boom and say, all right, we'll make a shell, we're going to use column 2, 4, 6, 8 column it up, deck the roof, do the flooring, and give you for put in your partition and your siding. That is something that I have been looking at. I've been talking to some contractors about it, and that sound like you could have get that out under $2 million, you know. So there are some options that I think we need to look at seriously.
Yeah. And what that would do, Colin, those structure will give people more options.
Yes.
As things get better with them to expand on it and so on. So I don't know.
What about those people who live near to the sea how long will the container house hold up as it relates to rust and all that kind of thing? A lot of questions to ask.
A lot of questions to ask, Colin. And that is why we talk about expertise is very important, because what you just mentioned a while ago, Colin, there are people who are capable of testing that to see the durability,
yes,
the durability of it. And remember now that when you talk about a house supposed to be something that can basically transcend generation.
Yes.
Right? So you don't want something where basically it's just a matter of time and then, things go haywire.
Somebody's saying that you need more column for decking, and a 20 by 12 or 20 by 14, you need more than 8 column. No, man.
No, I think 8. I think 8 could be good enough.
8 would be super.
Maybe.
You could do 6, but 8 would be super because you can run 10 by 10 upon 4 column. But 8 would give you adequate strength even if you want to go up on top of that.
May I go stop, Papa?
Anyway, Obi, we're going to finish up here, so thanks for the time.
I'm sorry, Colin. Sorry about that, Colin. I'm in a traffic scenario here.
Yeah, man. I run where I run, though, because we're way over time just because we lost electricity. But, we just catch up sometime.
Bless you, and keep up the good word.
One love, my brother. Viewers and subscribers, this has been the Colin Bell Show for yet another Saturday morning, extended because of the loss of electricity. But we thank you for coming on. We thank you for rejoining. Please remember to send out the link to some people. Monday evening, Wednesday evening, Tuesday evening, we're going to be here from 5 to 7. Do remember to join us for the Colin Bell Show. May the good Lord continue to bless and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his light and give you his peace. Until we meet again Monday evening. Bless up.